Now, when fighting first broke out in Syria, most of the refugees that fled to neighbouring Lebanon were women and children. Today, Lebanon is home to 400,000 Syrian children, all of them facing an unsure future.
Well, these children left their homes overnight, and most of them have not even been to a school ever since leaving Syria. And as we've already seen this evening, many of them have been forced into becoming the sole earner for their families.
So what steps are being taken to ensure that this doesn't turn into a lost generation? Well, Priyanka Dutt reports.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Monday, Tuesday.
This may seem like a casual conversation with children showing off their English skills, but it actually tells an amazing story. A year ago, these children spoke no English and spent their days aimlessly at these camps. Most of them used to go to schools in Syria. But here, as refugees, they faced an uncertain future. Lebanese schools were just not equipped to deal with the huge numbers of Syrian children coming in.
If we talk about education, there's not enough space to accommodate now Syrian refugee children who now outnumber the number of children who were registered in public schools last year from Lebanon.
أول السنة صار يجينا إقبال كتير كثيف من الطلاب السوريين، من التلامذة السورية. المحلات بالمقاعد بالمدرسة ما بقى استوعبتها. اتصلنا بالمناطق التربوية إنه شو بنعمل؟ قالوا ما تسجلوا، خذوا حاجتكم، لأنه ما عندنا قدرة لا نعطيكم المدرسين ولا نعطي مثلا إنه نفصل صفوف تانية.
But with 400,000 Syrian refugee children facing an uncertain future in Lebanon, an urgent solution was needed. And thus was born the idea of the second shift schools. So every afternoon, once the original batch of students go back home after their school day, in comes a new batch of Syrian students, back in school, back to getting an education. But this does not come without its own challenges. A big issue facing these second shift schools is the problem of curriculum and language. Back home in Syria, these students were used to studying in Arabic. But here, they are not only adapting to the Lebanese curriculum, but are also being taught in either French or English.
بالأول لقوا صعوبة إنه يقلعوا بالمنهاج، لكن اشتغلنا عليهم بشكل سهل، سهلنا المادة ورجعوا قلعوا ومشيوا.
شو بدك تصير لما تكبر؟
مهندس.
ليه؟
عشان أعمر.
ايش بدك تعمل؟
بنايات.
وين؟
سوريا.
Today, 1 in 4 Syrian children have managed to find a place within the Lebanese education system. Of course, while it's still unclear whether these degrees will be valid and recognized back in Syria, for now, no one can question the importance of sending as many children as possible back to school. The other alternative is grim.
ليه ما تروح المدرسة؟
عم اشتغل.
تشتغل؟ بسوريا كنت تروح المدرسة؟
ايه.
أي صف؟
الرابع.
من أول ما جيت ما رحت المدرسة.
من أول ما جيت ما.
شو بتعمل؟
هون؟ قاعد.
Everywhere we go, we meet young people who are still trying to come to terms with a life interrupted. Young students and professionals who overnight turned into refugees in a foreign country where they are not allowed to work. Like Adnan, who was an engineering student back home.
بصراحة هي الحاجة للعمل. يعني هون التعداد السوريين كبير كثير. وبصراحة المساعدات اللي عم تقدمها المنظمات هي ما بتغطي يا دوب شيء بسيط جدا. والعمل فرص العمل بلبنان كثير قليلة إلى درجة الانعدام حتى.
Which is why, apart from the second shift schools, these community centers are turning out to be such a critical part of the refugee aid program. Not just for the education or vocational training, but also the psychological and social support they provide to the displaced youth. However, even here, when it comes to education, sometimes, unfortunately, the politics of gender takes over.
شو بتدرسوا؟
ندرس عربي وإنجليزي هيك.
تحبوا المدرسة؟
نعم.
كده ما بتروح على المدرسة؟
ما يحط البنات.
ما يحطوا البنات؟ ليه؟
بدهم إيجار علينا. بدهم إيجار علينا.